This is the Dodgers Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Dodgers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, hello. Welcome to the Locked On Dodgers Postcast on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel. We appreciate you allowing us to be your source for your team every day. I am Pete Fox, covering sports in LA dating back to 2007 for ESPN LA and NBC Sports Radio. Well, that was not even close to good enough. Completely embarrassing and unforgivable. Lifeless. Once again, we're the Dodgers after a good showing yesterday. Today's episode of the Locked On Dodgers Postcast is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. G-O or go, laughing emojis. Dodgers are a joke. Those guys, so inconsistent. I'm officially going to stop watching games until October. This is painful. I totally agree. Like I said, if I wasn't getting paid for these shows, I probably would take a break from the Dodgers right now because it's frustrating as hell. All caps from LC. Horrible offense and defense today. Embarrassing for us. Yeah. I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm kind of like, I guess we just shouldn't care too much about what happens to them on the road. Obviously nothing is secured right now. I mean, that by no means is the West sewn up. The Padres, although they looked fairly average and lifeless against the Dodgers in LA, they're not. They've lost 4 in a row, it says. Am I looking at that correctly? No, they snapped a 4-game losing streak yesterday. They are now 2 back of the Dodgers. They are playing, I think, are they playing the Giants again? Yeah, they're playing the Giants again. It's 6-0 in the 4th. So it'll be back to a 1-game advantage for the Dodgers over the Padres. But I feel like the Dodgers play up to good competition and down to crappy competition, especially on the road against a team like the Rockies. You know, they're just like, why do we need to get up for this again? I'm sorry. I don't really, does not compute. It's kind of how it looks to them at this point. Oh, is there a rally in the making right now? First and third, 2 outs after Pajes reached on an error. LC says, I came all the way from California to come watch in Colorado 2 games. Oh, no. Oh, dude, I'm so sorry to hear that. That is so unfortunate. Hopefully you saw yesterday's game and today's game, and that, you know, leveled the field at least. Yeah, it's just strange to me, and I applaud. Oh, Evan's back. Beating the Rockies isn't for everyone. Frauds. Evan, I'm sorry you are not going to hijack the show tonight. Although last night was fun, I have to say that, and I got plenty of props for shadow boxing with you during the show last night. So it kind of made me look good. So I won that round. Even though you were coming strong, let's call it like it is, with a bunch of illogic and ridiculously absurd false claims about the Dodgers collapsing and whatnot. And one of the other things I forgot to mention, to go back to one of your Dodgers collapsed in 17 against the Red Sox, and they collapsed against the Astros. Both of them cheated. Let's not overlook that part. The Astros busted for cheating, and the Red Sox did the exact same thing. So we'll leave it there and move on. But yeah, it's 8-3 now. Dodgers rallying. Not dead yet. Maybe my reverse psychology of starting the show early gives the Dodgers some life. What happened here? Rojas out of baby, doubling to left. Freeland and Pajes scoring. All right, a little bit of life. Too little, too late, though. Here's the biggest issue tonight for me. Shohei Ohtani on the mound was ineffective, just not good enough.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Shohei went 4, gave up 5 runs on 9 hits. How many bad pitches did he throw in those innings where the Rockies were just teeing off? In the 4th inning, 5 consecutive hits. They were all hittable fastballs. He gave up 6 in all, 3 runs in that inning. In that inning alone, all very hittable pitches, just non-competitive pitches. His breaking ball wasn't doing anything. Everything was just over the plate. I was like, throw something away, battle a little bit. He was just kind of acquiescing. I'm just going to throw it over the plate. Let the defense do it. And look, the Rockies were getting breaks left, right, and center, but they were also hitting the ball hard. They were up there competing. They don't look like a team that's lost 90 games. There's no way that you would ever believe that. So the Dodgers, they should be winning these games. If you want to play the excuse card, we can. Max Muncy is out. Tommy Edman is out. But, Shohei, in theory, should be one of their best pitchers. And we can look at the Rockies and say they now have 37 wins, as this one just went final. 37 wins. Yeah, they're playing better right now, but they're not a good team. That's what it boils down to. What I was curious about is, what is the Rockies team batting average? That's what I want to know. Where does it fall in relation to everybody else, including the Dodgers? Because, the Rockies, they're playing pretty decent. You look at this team right now and go, how did they lose 90? Their pitching's been good. Last night it was terrible because that guy's 0-7 now. By the way, the Dodgers are in team batting average 4th in all of baseball, averaging 255. And the Rockies are 23rd with a 239 batting average. So I know it's not all about batting average, but you compare who's a better hitting team. The Dodgers are by far, even without a Max Muncy and a Tommy Edman. They should be winning these games, and it shouldn't be close. So I look at it and I say, they're now back to 500 on the road, I believe, 31-31. So not a good road team for whatever reason. And here is a team that you feel the need to just kind of take lightly and not get up for. And the Padres have taken advantage of that. Sorry, the Rockies. And the Padres are too, to a certain extent. They're taking advantage of a bad team in the Giants, like they should. The opposite of what the Dodgers doing against a bad team like the Rockies. So the Dodgers are just not fired up for whatever reason. And I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. Making foolish mistakes again. Throwing the ball to the wrong base, which was what Dave Roberts was criticizing the defense for a couple of nights ago, specifically Teoscar Hernandez. In addition to what Dave thought was a dropped ball in the 9th inning. Thought that ball should have been caught, like most of you did. I didn't put the loss on Teo. But the fact is that tonight, Andy Pajes did the same thing. Threw to third base and allowed a runner to get an extra base. Led to another run. It wouldn't have mattered. They won comfortably, 8-3. So these kinds of things are things that you could probably get away with right now, but are going to cost you at more important times of the season. But here's where I'm conflicted of sorts. I feel like this Dodger team has a switch, and I hate teams that have a switch. Oh, when it's a game that matters against a better team, we're going to flip that switch and we're going to come out and we're going to play hard. When it's against the Rockies, it's fine. And we're all like going, you should win these games. You should be pulling away from the Padres right now and not having us sit here frustrated against a garbage team like the Rockies. But that's not what's happening. So we go, let's hope they can split this series tomorrow. Kershaw's on the mound. He's been good of late. And then we go into San Diego and hope for the best. But the fact of the matter is the Padres are going to have a completely different attitude than they had in LA last weekend. And the Dodgers, as we know, are average at best on the road. So it's going to be a completely different set of circumstances. The environment will be totally different. Sure, Dodger fans show up in San Diego at Petco, but Padre fans make it tough on the Dodgers in San Diego. So, that's not going to be easy. We could leave that series down a game again. And frustration still, as we sit here and make excuses for why the Dodgers aren't playing better and winning these games they should win. They should go into that series against San Diego with at least a 3-game lead. I know they have the tiebreaker against the Padres, but you don't want to screw around and end up in that 3-game series in the playoffs. I don't know what they call it anymore. Is it still called the play-in game? I don't know what they call the DS or before the DS. I don't know, whatever. They were talking about that. I think it was on the radio. Tim and Rick Monday were talking about that. Like the Dodgers screw around, and even though they have the tiebreaker against the Padres, they could end up in that 3-game series, and that's a coin flip. Anything can happen there. So tonight, an ugly performance, embarrassing, head in the sand. If you work with Padre fans or Giant fans, you might want to avoid them tomorrow at work. If you see a call coming in or a text message, you might just want to let it go, because there's not going to be a whole lot to defend what the Dodgers did tonight. 8-3 the final. Just completely shellacked, embarrassed by the Rockies. 16 hits, and the Rockies had 2 errors on top of it all. 16 hits for the Rockies and only 6 for the Dodgers. 1 run coming on a Teoscar Hernandez home run in the 6th, and then Miggy Rojas double in the 9th got him a pair more to make it not completely embarrassing. But at the end of the day, a loss is a loss, and it was an ugly one to say the least. It's the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel. Place to hang out when every game is done. Don't forget to check out the Locked On Daily Dodgers podcast on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel, hosted by Travis Rogers, Monday through Friday, an in-depth examination of what's going on in the Dodger universe. Today's episode of the Locked On Dodgers postcast is brought to you by Game Time, one of my favorite apps that we promote. It is a sponsor of the Locked On postcast here for the Dodgers. Have you ever decided last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's game day and you suddenly realize that you don't want to be sitting on the couch watching. You want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Game Time comes in. You just grab your phone, open up that app, and it's an easy way to grab last minute tickets without all the stress. You can guarantee the tickets are good, and they're going to be a fantastic price. One of the best deals that you probably will find. And with that extra money you save on tickets, you could splurge on food or drinks or merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Game Time makes it all possible. Game Time makes buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop as you get closer to first pitch or the start of the game or a show or a concert or whatever. So last minute deals are readily available. You have an app that gives you views from the seat, which is a fantastic feature if you ask me, because you can see exactly what you'll be seeing from your seats. And sometimes moving a section over or a section up can save you a pretty nice chunk of money, but it doesn't really change your vantage point all that much, especially like if it's a concert. The screens are so big these days that you don't need to see the human beings. You just look at them on a screen and you get to feel the intensity and the vibe of what's going on in the venue. Same goes for baseball. Just fantastic deals and an easy way to get tickets to a game. Take the guesswork out of buying those tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONMLB. $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That's LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Well, the Dodgers get worked, punched right in the mouth today from Jump Street.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
You know, they scored a pair in the second, continued on till the fourth, but that to me was the kind of the turning point for them where they started to pull away. And as I mentioned, it was just an ugly inning for the Dodgers, especially for Shohei Ohtani. He was getting just punched around, and he got knocked around in the knee, literally pegged by a line drive on a 93-mile-an-hour comebacker that hit him just above the knee. So that probably didn't feel all that good. He gave up 5 consecutive hits in that frame, 6 in all, 3 total runs as the Dodgers fall behind there 5-0. And from there, it was over and done with. Freddie got pulled shortly thereafter, and the Dodgers just phoned it in from there. We're done. TTP, which, as we know, stands for turn the page. Dalton Rushing came in, was 0 for. Teoscar had the home run. That was his only hit of the day. Andy Pajes 0 for 4. Your friend and mine, Michael Conforto, did nothing, 0 for 4. Freeland had a hit. Miguel Rojas had a pair. Shohei had 1 hit to lead off the game. First pitch of the game, a double, extending his on-base streak to 18 consecutive games. So he's been good getting on base of late. Just hasn't been very impactful for the Dodgers. He's hit some home runs. So you know, you can't put this on Shohei offensively. Tonight you put it on him defensively. And it also just seemed like he just seemed disinterested. Didn't he have that sort of look on his face like he was tired or just didn't care? Oral was trying to spin it like, oh, he's very calm and he's very composed. So I didn't agree with that at all. Oral is the relentlessly positive Dodger fan, such a homer that, the fact is that, he's always trying to come up with a positive spin and say something nice and positive, and is not critical of the Dodgers at all. Even down whatever it was, 6-1 going into the, it was actually 8-1 at that point because they scored a couple of more in the 8th inning. He says something to the effect of, okay, now we need to get a rally going in the 9th. So, there is no rally coming for this team tonight, Oral Hershiser. But again, appreciate the positivity. Manuel says Roberts always cools down his hot hitting players by not playing them the next game. That is a very, very good point. He put Conforto in tonight after Alex Call had a 4-for-5 night last night, including a home run, the longest home run of the season for the Dodgers, a triple shy of the cycle. And I totally agree. I don't get that. It's like, pulling a guy who's buried 5 threes in a row and saying you need a break, heat check. No, run him out there. How do you not know that Alex Call is still red hot and seeing it like a grapefruit? He could go out there and hit 3 or 4 more hits tonight, which could change the entire tone of this game and this team. But no, he sends out Michael Conforto, who figures out a way to get a hit every now and then, but for the most part is ineffective. I'm not necessarily as hard on him as you guys are, but he's not good. He's not clutch. He's not what you need in a situation where this game needed to back up last night's game, in my opinion. You needed to continue, get on a roll, take 3 of 4, head into San Diego on a roll. Although they went into LA, back to Dodger Stadium after getting swept by the Angels and swept the Padres. So who knows? Who knows? I don't know what to think anymore of this team and where they are and what the issue is and why are they so inconsistent? I mean, if you made me describe this team in one word for this whole season, that's the word I think most of us would use. Inconsistent. Cannot find a role. And it's, it's frustrating to say the least. Yeah. Ronald pointing out the obvious. I think we talked about this last night or the night before. Conforto has the worst batting average in baseball. Yeah. Yeah. But Dave Roberts likes him. So, And again, yeah, I think that one's frustrating because Conforto is bad right now for the most part. Been bad over the whole season, except for some, flashes here and there. But Alex Call was red hot last night. If there was ever a time to run Call back out there, it was tonight. He did the same thing when Max Muncy came back from the IL. Went 0 for his first night. Second night back, 2 home runs. Third night, benched him because of righty-lefty garbage. Oh, hate it. Hate it. Yeah, Lux. 90 losses, MB. I don't know if he's talking to someone specific, but he's definitely referring to the Rockies. So it's frustrating. Of course, they win tomorrow. We'll feel a little bit better, but no rest for the weary, 12:15, 12:30, 12, whatever, 10, 12:10 start time tomorrow. And then on the bird directly to San Diego, Lindbergh Field, where they will kick off a weekend series with a lot on the line against the Padres. Kershaw goes tomorrow, 7-2 with a 3.01 ERA. He'll take on Dollander, who's 2-9 with a 6.43 ERA. So let's look at the win probability. Not that it means squadouche, because it looked similar to this coming into tonight's game. Dodgers have a 72.7% chance of winning this game tomorrow, according to the ESPN matchup predictor. I would throw that out the window based on what we've seen over the last 3 games, because we had a fart in church on game 1 of this series. Yesterday, the Dodgers came out pounding their chest, and today, hole in the boat, just sinking the entire game. 12:10, the official start time tomorrow. We'll be here to break it down when it is over. It's the Locked On Dodgers postcast. I am Pete Fox. Appreciate you watching and listening, and appreciate the comments as always. We'll be here to give you some instant reaction tomorrow when this one is over and done with, and hopefully a split series for the Dodgers against the Rockies as they head off to San Diego to take on the Padres over the weekend. Enjoy the rest of your night again. We'll talk tomorrow when game 4 is over. Thanks for watching and listening, and appreciate your comments. Take care. Have a good night.